Well, good evening. Welcome to Bedtime Stories with me, Pastor Michelle. Today's Sunday, December 20th, and our first story, our story of the night is from Bambi, and it's called The First Frost. Bambi blinked sleepily. Something was different. The forest didn't look the same. The air was crisp and cold, and everything was frosted and sparkling. Jack Frost has been here, Bambi's mother explained. He's painted the whole forest with ice crystals. Bambi was about to ask his mother who Jack Frost was and how he painted with ice when he heard another voice, an impatient one. Get up, come look at the frost. It was Thumper. He had tapped his foot impatiently. We haven't got all day. Bambi scampered out of the thicket. He looked closely at the colorful leaves on the ground. Each one was covered in an icy white pattern. He touched his nose to a big orange oak leaf. Oh, it's cold. Of course it is, Thumper laughed. I think it's beautiful, said Faline as she stepped into the clearing. Me too, Bambi agreed. Well, come and look at this. Thumper hopped away and the two young deer followed, admiring the way the sun sparkled on the frost-covered trees and grass. Thumper disappeared under a brush, then Bambi heard a new noise. Creak, creak. Faline pushed through the bushes with Bambi right behind her. There was Thumper, cracking the thin ice on a puddle with his feet. Bambi had never seen ice before. He pushed on the thin ice with his hoof. It seemed to bend. Then it shattered. Soon the three friends were all stomping on the ice-covered puddles. When all the ice was broken, Faline had an idea. Let's go to the meadow. Bambi thought that was a great idea. The grass would be sparkling. They set out at a run, bounding and racing one another through the forest. But when they got to the meadow's edge, they stopped. They looked and sniffed and listened quietly. They did not sense danger. No, the trouble was that in the meadow nothing was different. There was no frost. What happened? Frost never lasts long, Thumper explained. It melts as soon as the sun hits it. But don't worry, winter is coming, and soon we'll have something even better than frost. We'll have snow. Gotta say, I'm not a big fan of snow. Mostly because, I never get to play in it. I don't like snow because I hate driving on it. I will be honest. If I'm able to be at home and just have a snow day, I love snow. But when I have to actually go out in it, I hate it. So that's just my 2 cents. So our bold woman in Black history today is Angela Davis, who's an activist and a scholar. So she grew up in racially segregated Birmingham, Alabama, a city at the center of the fight for civil rights. By the time she was a teen, Angela was already actively involved in the movement. She organized interracial study groups, which were broken up by the police. This was only the beginning for her passion for activism and scholarship. In college, she majored in philosophy and was a student under a famous German thinker named Herbert Marcuse. She says he taught her that she could be an academic and a scholar as well as an activist and a revolutionary. She was outspoken and a prominent counterculture voice. She became affiliated with the Black Panther Party as well as a member of and later president of the Communist Party USA. Both groups were considered dangerous because of their opposition to the U.S. government, so she was put on the FBI's most wanted list. Some of her major passions were fighting for prison reform and against police brutality. She was labeled a troublemaker for fighting the system. She was let go from her teaching job at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, but she fired back with a lawsuit. She was put in prison for conspiracy charges, but was acquitted 16 months later. Angela Davis is largely considered a symbol for fighting back against systems of oppression. Through all of this, she maintained a devotion to teaching and remained a professor of philosophy well into her 70s. All right. So, I think it's important to fight against oppression. It's important to fight against systems of oppression. And sometimes we're not going to be the most popular person when we do that, when we speak out against the dominant culture at hand. So, my friends, God bless you. Let's continue to fight to build a better world as best as we can. Stay safe, my friends.